Panda Gaming here with another Raid Shadow Legend video. Today we'll be talking about a champion named Septimus. And Septimus is a extender for your clan boss. And he does a pretty good job, even though it's only a 30% chance of him doing this. It's still really reliable, even if it extends it for a couple times. I currently have a counterattack team and I average about 18 to 22 million damage on Ultra Nightmare Clan Boss. I will post a picture of the damage that I done on Force, and my team usually consists of uh, Steel, Skull, Skull Crusher, Padma, Racing, and Septimus. And Septimus is a pretty good champion when it comes to extending debuffs. If you don't have Vizier, which is the best extender debuff extender out there, Septimus could do a pretty good job. And what really does the work is Giant Killer. His this passive has a 30% chance of increasing the duration of all debuff on the target by 1 turn, and damage inflicted by each attack increases by 30% if the enemy current HP is over 50%. So you, of course, you inflict more damage, but that 30% chance of inflicting the duration of increasing the duration of all your debuff. This is a pretty good debuff, and I say debuff because I believe in the Raid Shadow Legend official Discord they had said some about Septimus passive being a debuff. But what's funny is that on your masteries, if you put a master hexer, it will not add it. It will not extend by 2. So it's really funny how he works. But since we're talking about masteries, let's go over his mastery first before I go over his gear. Uh, of course, if you have him, you want him to do as much turns as he can. So if you have him in a counterattack team, you want to go with the defense tree. And the reason is you want to have this 50% chance of counterattack when this champion loses 25 of his max HP from a single hit. So sometimes whenever the Clambo does a AoE, you will lose 25%, or if he targets Septimus with his stun, he will also have the chance of countering an attack. If you have, I believe it's this one, nope, if you have this right here, you have a 50% chance to remove one random debuff, so it would automatically remove that stun and will counter attack. Also, you want to have this one where it has a 20% chance to counterattack an enemy when they apply sleep, stun, or freeze debuff on an ally. Of course, the clan boss is always doing a stun, so if he doesn't do a stun on you, we'll do it on somebody else, and your Septimus will have that 20% chance of counterattacking. Of course, you want to have War Master, you will do a little bit more damage, and that's pretty much it. Those are the ones that I recommend having so he could do the most damage and the most chances of increasing your debuff. The way I have mine built, it's with 100%, almost 100% crit rate, just because I want him to do as much damage as he can. His defense is about 3,000, which is pretty okay. He could take some hits, and I got a Steel Skull, which he puts the defense up, and I also got Skull Crusher, which does the ally protection, which it helps out a lot. And I believe if he had about 4,000 defense, he would last a little longer. But this is what I got for the moment. That's because I got those crit rate gloves on. His HP could be a little bit better, but at the moment, that's what I got. I haven't really messed with his gear for a while, but this is what we have. I got some crit rate gloves with some speed, defense, resistant, uh, defense percentage, defense percent, chest piece. Of course, you want to have him on life steal because you want him to heal himself as much as he can, and especially if you're gonna be counter attacking when you lose 25% of your HP, or if you one of the allies gets stunned. Of course, you want to have high accuracy because, like I said, it was said that uh, Giant Killer, his passive is debuff, so you want to have, of course, accuracy for it to proc. Um, he could pair up with a Longbeard, I believe it is. He could pair up with him really well because Longbeard does this ally attack, so he attacks with four of your champions, which is pretty much your whole team, and those attack there will increase the chances of increasing your debuff. So here we have Longbeard, and I believe this is A3. Yep. Attack one enemy with four ally, increases the damage inflicted by allies by 20%. So of course he'll be doing this. He will bring Septimus into the fight. Septimus will do his A1, passive could proc, and that gives you another debuff extension. Of course, that's about the only place where I would put Septimus at. I've seen him in a couple of arena teams, and he does a pretty good damage with his A1 and his A2, but you will have to build them differently. You have to build them like a glass cannon with 100% crit rate and as much crit damage as you can. Of course, you want to have a high attack. So instead of going with uh, defense ring, defense amulet, you want to have crit damage. You want to have attack on your rings, of course, and you probably wouldn't even have to worry about your accuracy. You probably have to add another attack banner on it, just so you could do as much damage as you can. I see him doing about 35, 40,000 with his A2, and I don't know if those people had him booked or not, but I seen him pretty much wiped out a whole my whole team back in before Torment changed the meta when we used to have a lot of Glass Canyon teams with a lot of speed. So his A2 is pretty good for the clan boss because he does about 134,000 with his A2, and this is on a 4 turn cooldowns, which is pretty alright. You do a good amount of damage, but these will ignore the shield and block damage buffs. So any block damage buff that he has, he will definitely ignore it, and he just goes straight to doing all the damage. Of course, this is based on attack, but forget about the attack. It's also enemy max HP. So of course he'll be doing a good amount of damage for you clan boss, where that's where I use mine at. But this is all. I will be posting a picture of the damage that I've done, and hopefully I could show you guys a small clip of him doing some damage once I get a key. I will be adding that also to that video. But thank you for watching. I hope you guys enjoy and found this informative, and please leave a like and subscribe if you can. Thank you. Alright, so here we got uh, Septimus showing a little bit of work. As you guys can see, whenever a couple of times he will attack and increase those debuffs. Like I said, it's not always a 100% chance, it's a 30% chance, but still there's moments where he could apply them pretty often. I think this is gonna be one of those times that he applies the extension on him. As you guys saw there, he extended them by 1 turn. Of course he's gonna get stunned, and I could always clear the stun with Steel Skull. There we go, Rastin doing some work, and I believe he increases there you go, he increases the debuffs twice right there, and he keeps on going at it. So like I said, you want him to be able to counterattack when somebody gets uh, a hit, a stun, or he loses 25% of his HP. That will increase just that will increase those chances for you to um, get those extensions on those debuffs. His A2, you guys seen that he hit for 120. Of course, whenever it's the opposite affinity, the weakest affinity, of course he'll do a little bit more. But it also depends how you got yours built. You could also go with high amount of HP, crit rate, crit damage, and attack. So instead of having those, um, you could build him as a DPS champion. So instead of going with high defense, you could just go with high HP, high attack, crit rate, and a lot of crit damage. I'm sure if I would change his necklace to crit damage, I'm sure he'll hit a little bit harder. But of course, you're always trying to squeeze as much damage as you can. My Racing, he got crit damage gloves because I think his defense it's kind of high enough, and I want him to squeeze as much damage as he can. So here we go again. He hits, he increases those debuffs. It goes on the entire fight. So that's it. I will post a picture of uh, my best damage that I've done with this team. And like I said, I always manual everything. I don't like to auto it because I find that Rasen and Pema use their skills that they shouldn't be using, and like I said, Septimus AI doesn't use his A2, which does a lot of damage. So I don't want them using those skills, and of course, by auto manual and everything, you will squeeze a little bit more damage. But thank you everybody for watching, and I hope you enjoy.